Welcome to the Emanation Society channel. I'm gonna make a new video, and I just wanna, I don't know. It's just something I think about a lot. So I don't know if you guys ever think about it, but people talk about revolution quite a bit, and sometimes I feel like other people have said this. I know one person who says it is Vosh. But do you guys ever think that maybe like revolution shouldn't be put in the hands of the civilian class? That we shouldn't have to be violent towards our oppressors? That like putting that on us is just like another bullshit capitalist thing? Like, I feel like everything that's like inherently wrong with society is inherently a capitalist problem. I mean, a lot of people out here shouldn't be driving. We all have to buy cars. We have car-centric infrastructure that all ties back into, capitalism. For profit margins, we got to put everyone on the streets. So more car accidents, more congestion, more air pollution, more microplastics in the water from the tires. Tires are one of the biggest producers of microplastics on the planet, and like no one ever wants to consider that, right? Because where do you think the tires go? They wear down. They go into your water supply, they're in your blood, and they go in your brain. General violence. Let's talk about that. The reason why, we have so much like gang-related activity, robberies, just people in the street making dumb decisions, people, whatever. It's not a community problem. Where does the education go to prevent this? Where does the support systems go to, to the individuals who are struggling? This is a generational curse, and it's only being exacerbated by, poor living conditions and, lack of systems that support the youth. So the youth out here has to go and commit crime because that's where, that's just how they feel, they have to do it, Just this idea that they have to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, and they have to kind of like magically, create a world that they weren't raised in. How were these kids raised? It's just like they weren't given the proper systems of support. The reason why we have crime, a lot of crime would go away if capitalism wasn't a problem. You know what I mean? Like if it wasn't a thing. Everything's tied in. But on top of all of that, it's just all like, this is what I wanted to make a point about. That revolution, it just seems like a lot of innocent people would be hurt in the process. Now, I totally think that the problem is capitalism. And I totally think the problem is imperialism and colonialism. I genuinely think that. Racism. It's just all like, we don't care about people. It's misogyny, We don't care about children. Like, society as a whole doesn't give a shit about children. Children matter so much. Like, women matter so much. The marginalized matter so much. And like, society coming back around and putting it on us. Because let's be honest. What society promotes, even if they say they don't, even if they throw you in jail for saying the same exact things they say, violence. Violence is a societal framework. It's a societal model. We exist in a violent society. And when people die and people get murdered, it's just, more of the same. We have a president, in the White House, and we have, broadcasters on TV saying they need to kill people. They want to kill people. Fox News is saying they want to kill homeless people. Elon Musk is giving Sieg Heils with Steve Bannon. Stephen Miller is quoting Joseph Goebbels. Donald Trump you know what he does. I don't know. I can't keep up with it. I'm so fucking tired. You know what I mean? Let's be real. But I just want to be honest with you. I don't think that we should have to take the brunt. I don't think that we should have to like be violent ourselves. I'm not trying to say this in like a liberal way. I totally believe that we should destroy everything, scorched earth, like, but I want to do it in a productive way that's not like hands dirty. I think that like, you know, participating in chaos and destabilizing society and doing evil things isn't a good model. I don't think that it's like helpful. I personally don't advocate on behalf of violence. I don't advocate on behalf of bad, terrible things happening to people. And the reason I don't is because if it worked, it'd be different. You know what I mean? But I just think that like further, you know, pushing this model, it just like, I don't think we should live in a violent society. You know, it's just like I generally agree with how the conservatives, you know, say certain things and how they advocate on behalf of certain things. I don't really believe in the freedom of speech stuff. I really don't. But anyway, I do believe that like they have some things right when they like virtue signal or they speak into the ether or they pander to your sensibilities. Those sweet nothings they feed you. Kind of brilliant, actually. You know, that we should live like in a harmony or something, or an equilibrium. And like, I think that we should just take care of our society. I don't think the government should be like forcing violence upon us because that's just what they do. We live in an inherently schizophrenic society. A lot of people in America struggle with schizophrenia because, specifically, have you looked at America? We're one of the most like cursed places you know, just, I don't know, we live in a cursed society. Have you ever like been to America? Like, I don't know, you go down south and like, I'm not saying this is strictly a southern problem. I'm going to be 100% real with you. I've been doing some research and it's pretty bad up north too. It's not just your Bible belts. It's pretty bad everywhere. Like, don't get it twisted. But anyway, go down south and it's just like you can feel the tension in the air. You can feel the delusion. You can feel the schizophrenia. You can feel just the unrest. I don't know how else to say it. You know what I mean? It's just all like, it just feels like whatever died in this country has really just like stuck around. And whoever killed them, you know, they really cursed the land. You know what I mean? And I don't know, it's just all like we live in such a destabilized, fractured society that's built off the back of so many things, even abstractly. We're haunted. I mean, our whole societal model is slavery, and it continues to be slavery to this day. Because child slavery and prisoner slavery, those are all normal things. You know, it's just all like, we got wage slavery, we got, I don't know, we got so many slaveries. It's just all like, you know, and we got, I don't know how else, I don't want to get too far into all of these, like, nuances and stuff. It's just all, like, I just think that, like, the government puts a lot of stuff on us, the people, that we shouldn't be thinking about, and it's just all, like, we got our great minds and thinkers just eroding, you know, trust, and, you know, really anything, right? They just erode everything good for us. Aren't you so happy that they erode everything for you and they make you feel like an idiot while they're just being totally, like, dense? We need to funnel our power to the Palantirs of the world and the Apples and the Microsofts and the Israels. It's just like, this is a really crazy time we're living in, right? It's just like, I don't know. Sorry, I'm just thinking now. But I don't think that we should have to exist within a violent society. I don't think that, like, violence should be the answer. I mean, it's just like, the reason they hold that carrot on that stick is so that somebody acts out and they don't have to pay them, so then they can have a new scapegoat and they can blame a new group of people. Like, I feel like if they were really gonna go out and like do something like that, you know what I mean, like do it themselves and get their own hands dirty, they'd probably like blame it on a trans person. You know what I mean? That's someone they really want to get. Either a trans person, a black person, a woman. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. It's just like they have their focus, they have their vision, and they want it done their way because it's better for the destabilizing. But anyway, violence is a tool of authority to suppress people, and violence also is just a destabilizing force in this world. Violence doesn't solve things, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't solve greater, goings-ons, even though it feels good in the moment. Let's be real. I'm a person, I grew up American, you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and be all like, this is just, I'm not going to look down on you. I'm not going to moral grandstand the whole thing. It's just all like, we all, you know what I mean? We all have a little bit of feeling of violence in us every now and then. Personally, I don't want to say, you know what I mean? It's pointless. I'll be real with you. I just feel like the violent tendencies or the urges, whatever, it's just all like, it's ultimately pointless. What, just destroy myself? So, I could just be a tool for the right, or a tool to destabilize society. I believe in love and making the world a better place. That's what we should be doing. We should be making the world a better place and doing things for the people around us. And, like, making the world a better place is genuinely, like, an equilibrium kind of thing. Like, we all gotta work together. It's community. It's outreach. They kill people for that. I don't know. It's a really difficult thing to talk about. It's a really difficult thing to say, but I feel like the government wants anarchy. I think that, like, anarchism, I'm not going to hate on you guys, but, like, that's not a long-term solution. That's not a framework that, you know what I mean? But it's useful. It's very useful. I definitely 100% agree with, like, the direction and the momentum of anarchists. But I wouldn't say that that's, like, my favorite sort of, like, idea. You know what I mean? In a just world, and, like, this is another thing that people say, but post January 6th, those people would be in jail. We wouldn't let those people go, and we wouldn't have Trump in the office. He should be in prison. It's just like, why isn't the state dealing with this thing? Same reason they didn't punish the Confederates after the Civil War, by the way. You know what I mean? This is just what it comes to. They don't punish the right people, and they don't punish them right. And I genuinely believe that these echo chambers of conservative thought should be crushed. I see too many innocent people getting caught up in this, and they don't deserve that. They don't deserve to have their lives ruined by this conservative mind virus. And I really want to be confrontational about this, because I think that there are agents at play that really just harp on the insecurities of the common man. And that's one thing that, like, we all have in common. We all feel insecure. We all feel alienated. And for a lot of people, that insecurity and alienation, it manifests into this dark depravity. And again, it's just all like, you got to really focus on what's right in this world. And you have to know that love is the answer. And treating people right is the answer. And supporting people you love is the answer. I don't just blow smoke up people's asses when I'm, like, trying to be a nice person to people. Because I genuinely believe that if you can inspire somebody, and you can treat them right, and you can make them find love within themselves so they can look back at themselves and love themselves, that creates a better world for all of us. Because everyone needs to love themselves and value integrity. Because how the fuck can you treat other people that you love with the respect and care they need if you don't even love yourself? Or you don't have integrity or morals. Morals are so important. And that's one thing the current administration lacks. They have no morality. They have nothing. Just thin-skinned, just worthless individuals. Truly worthless, in my humble opinion. Worthless people. The GOP is filled with them. A third of the population, whoever identifies with the MAGA movement, absolutely moralists. No morality. No integrity. Are little to none. Because that hypocrisy carries over into everything. There's just so much hypocrisy and contradiction. And I can't tolerate it. I'm so burnt out. I'm so exhausted. I feel like I'm way up here and you guys in the MAGA, it's just like way down here. Like genuinely, I just feel more tense and unnerved. But like at the end of the day, no matter how crazy I get, it's all about love. And I want to see you guys better, or your loved ones better, your families better, the people you care about. I want to see them in a better place. I just don't think that like some people should have opinions or should be open about their opinions. It's very important to consider that freedom of speech is a failed project. And I'm so tired of the virtue signal that being pro-freedom of speech is inherently a good thing. You guys weren't around for the past 10 years because I've seen it all. And it's all falling down. And it's been falling down. It really started falling in this all like hyper-reactionary atheist content. I mean, like, that's what I grew up to see. You know what I mean? That's my era. Back in 2013, 2014. That's when I was a kid on the internet, just like watching that kind of stuff. And like, personally, I grew as a person, and it's been an introspective journey. That's what's important. Be introspective. Love yourself. Stop letting people trample all over you with these conservative, just lies.